Here's the truth no one says out loud. You can have everything and still feel like nothing. Not because you failed, but because you succeeded in the wrong direction. You built a life people admire, but forgot to ask one question. Is this even me? And the moment that question finally hits you, it changes everything. Or it breaks you. It starts quietly, not with a breakdown, not with some dramatic moment, just a pause. You're sitting there, phone in your hand, notifications finally, silent, and for a second, there's nothing to do, no one to respond to, no task to chase, no goal pulling you forward, just you. And that's when it hits. Something feels off, not wrong enough to panic, but not right enough to ignore, like you've arrived somewhere, but don't remember choosing the destination. You weren't supposed to feel like this. Not after everything it took to get here, all those late nights, all the sacrifices, all the times you said not now to things that actually mattered, because you were building something bigger, a life, a version of you that people would respect, maybe even admire, and you did it. That's the strange part. You actually did it. You became disciplined, focused, sharp. You stopped wasting time. You stopped making excuses. While everyone else was distracted, you were moving forward, quietly, consistently, and slowly. Things started changing. Money came in. Opportunities opened up. People started treating you differently. Your presence meant something now. Your name carried weight. Pause for a second. Remember the first time you felt that subtle shift? When people started taking you seriously, it felt good. Not just good, necessary, like finally, you mattered, and that feeling, it becomes addictive, not in a loud way, in a quiet, controlled way. You start chasing it, not desperately, but constantly, because every time you achieve something, there's that small hit, that sense of, I'm getting closer, but closer to what? That question doesn't show up yet. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's all momentum. You're moving too fast to question anything. Too focused to notice what's slipping. And then one day, you reach a moment you thought would change everything. A goal, a milestone, something you've been working toward for months, maybe years. You hit it, and for a few seconds, it feels exactly how you imagined. Relief, pride, validation. Then it fades, faster than you expected. You sit there, staring at the thing you once wanted so badly, and instead of excitement, there's just silence. Not peace, not satisfaction, just nothing. And that's where it begins, that quiet confusion. Why doesn't this feel the way it's supposed to? So you do what you've always done. You move the goalpost. You aim higher. Maybe it's not enough yet. Maybe you just need more. More success, more recognition, more proof. And it works. For a while, you stay busy, you stay driven, you don't give yourself time to think, because thinking leads somewhere uncomfortable, but it catches up. It always does. Late at night, early mornings, in between tasks, in moments where there's no distraction left, that feeling returns, stronger now, clearer. It's not burnout, it's not stress, it's something deeper, something harder to name. It feels like you're living a life that looks like yours, but doesn't feel like you. Let that sit for a second, because this is where most people turn away. They scroll, they work, they distract themselves again, anything, to avoid sitting with that thought. But you didn't click on this by accident. Something in you recognized it, even if you couldn't explain it. Here's what's happening, and no one really talks about it like this. When you spend years chasing external things, your brain adapts. Every achievement gives you a small reward, a chemical signal that says, this matters. Do more of this. That signal, it's dopamine, not happiness, not fulfillment, just motivation. So you keep going because your brain learned that progress equals worth, that achievement equals identity. But there's a cost, a quiet one. You stop checking in with yourself, not intentionally, just gradually. You stop asking, what do I actually want? And start asking, what should I do next? And those two questions, they lead to very different lives. One is built from within, the other is built for the outside world. Guess which one feels better on the surface? Guess which one feels empty? Over time, at some point, without realizing it, you shifted from being a person to being a performer, always producing, always improving, always becoming, but never just being. And here's the part that hits hard. You got everything you wanted by slowly becoming someone you're not. Sit with that. Don't rush past it, because this is the moment, not the success, not the achievement, the awareness. That somewhere along the way, you traded authenticity for approval, not because you were weak, but because you wanted to feel enough. And for a while, it worked. But now you're left with something strange, a life that looks full and feels distant, like you're watching yourself from the outside. So what do? Most people think the answer is drastic. Quit everything, start over, disappear, but that's just another escape. This isn't about changing your life. It's about reconnecting with it. And that starts with something simple, but uncomfortable. Slowing down, not forever, just enough to notice what's been ignored. Because underneath all the noise, all the progress, all the pressure, there's still a version of you there, quiet, waiting, the one who didn't need to prove anything, the one who found meaning in small moments, the one who felt real. You didn't lose that person, you just stopped listening. And the only way back is awareness, not big changes, not dramatic decisions, just small moments of honesty, asking yourself, what do I actually feel right now? Not what you should feel, not what makes sense, just what's real. And staying with it, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. Because that discomfort, that's not something to escape. That's something to understand. It's been trying to get your attention for a long time, and now you're finally listening, and something shifts. Not instantly, not dramatically, but subtly. You start noticing things again. What drains you? What matters to you? What feels forced? And what feels natural? And slowly, very slowly, you begin to separate who you are from what you've built. And for the first time in a long time, you feel something real, not excitement, not validation, just clarity. And it's quiet, but it stays, because it doesn't depend on anything external. And that's when you realize you were never actually lost. You were just distracted, pulled away from yourself by everything you thought you needed to become. But now you see it. And once you see it, you can't go back to living unconsciously. You can still chase goals. You can still build. You can still grow. But this time, it's different, because you're not doing it to become someone else. You're doing it without leaving yourself behind. And maybe that's the real success. Not what you achieve, not what you gain, but what you don't have to lose to get there. So let me ask you something, and don't answer it quickly. When everything goes quiet tonight, no distractions, no noise, no expectations, just you. Will you recognize yourself, or will it feel like you're meeting a stranger again, and now it's quiet again, just like the beginning? No noise, no distractions, just you. And whatever this feeling is, it's strange, isn't it? You built a life like a perfectly designed house, every detail in place, everything exactly where it should be. But somewhere along the way, you forgot to leave the door open for yourself. So now you're standing outside, looking in, and maybe that's the truth no one warns you about. You didn't lose your life. You just stopped living inside it. So the real question is, are you going to keep staring at it, or finally walk back in?